All right, welcome to another YouTube Live here where we're going to be talking about the different altcoins within the crypto market. We have our TikTok Live occurring here as well as our YouTube. So if you got any questions, drop them within the comments and I'll be sure to answer them if they are relevant with what we're talking about. So already talked about BTC. I think we are in accumulation. We see the price hold a nice level of support, making higher lows. We see a lot of wicks to the downside, and we also see that sell side or margin positions on the Bitfinex exchange completely drop. So there's a lack of confidence in the sellers on the Bitfinex exchange for the people using margin to short. So that's definitely something to consider. But let's go over the charts that we talked about a little bit earlier. We see a lot. Let's first talk about the overall structure of the market. So we see a lot of consolidation. We see a lot of pullback from a lot of alts. We're making lower highs and lower lows, or at least lower highs, and holding a nice horizontal level of support or demand, right? So what we're seeing is the market consolidate, and we're getting a squeeze in a lot of these alts where we're holding some level, some demand zone, and we're getting a squeezing of the price because we're making lower highs, but we're not able to make lower lows, or we're even making higher lows. So the market overall is going to potentially see a move either to the upside or downside. We have to make sure, we have to wait till price action confirmation. But looking at BTC where it is, looking at the different alts, I think this is a very, very healthy correction and a consolidation and potentially a nice accumulation phase before our next markup, before our next couple impulse moves towards the upside. So that's my overall bias, and I am looking at the market in that view where I'm looking for long positions because we're holding levels of support, and that is my view of the market. So now with that said, we can go over the different alts that we're going to be looking at. First, we'll go over BNB, TRX, Link, and then we'll go over Litecoin and Cardano. Looks pretty good. Dash also looks like a good possibility. So we'll go over a few different coins here, like always. First, starting with Binance Coin paired with US Tether. So we're seeing a nice, healthy correction. We're going to actually use a snip here and discuss kind of all what we're able to see. So the first thing that we want to notice is this green horizontal zone. Oh, I'm just going to change this to white. So we see this green horizontal zone that is connecting the lows, not being able to make a lower low, right? So we've been able to hold this low for a while. And what we're seeing is this is our anchor point for the more descending trend line, and we have a further anchor point for the less descending trend line, which is going to create a potentially another level of confluence. But for now, all we have is just two descending trend lines. And the reason we have another one is it could kind of connect up to this resistance and support, and resistance and support. So we see it's a pretty key zone within the chart, and it's also lining up with our lower highs that we're connecting right there. So there's a potential opportunity for a pullback and then a validation of that zone. But for now, we are seeing the price squeeze closer to the apex of the pattern, which is right here. We're seeing the price hold this current zone with one touch, and then we have the second touch that's pretty validated. We have a rejection there, but it's a pretty well-respected zone. But I'd like to see the market make a structural higher high, and then we'd like to enter on the structural higher low, previous resistance, new level of support, because like always, we're looking for the downtrend, the consolidation, and we don't want to enter at the top of a consolidation. We want to enter at the higher low structure before the market starts to make the higher low, higher high structure. That's the ideal goal for our trading methods, so that is what we're going to be looking to enter on. So we're not looking to enter on BNB just yet, but it's looking like a good potential here because we see the downtrend coming to a key structural demand zone, and then we got to get a break. Now we're going to go into a sideways consolidation where we could see a nice structure, something like this occur. That would be great, and then we have some opportunities in there to make some money to the upside. So that's BNB on the hour chart. Not going to go too much more into detail. It's looking pretty structurally sound, and I have a good edge if the market presents the right opportunities to us. So that is BNB. We'll now talk about TRX, kind of a similar situation where you see the descending zone. Let's just connect that a little bit more clean. And then just zooming out on the hour chart here, we already talk about, the weekly, the daily, the 4-hour, all that, so much because we do this every single day. So we're mainly just going to talk about the 1 hour and kind of look at just the market structure and what we're able to identify, because right now at this point in time, we are not looking for the massive moves towards the upside because we are still in the consolidation phase of BTC. So we're wanting to take profits a little bit quicker. I don't think you want to extend ourselves too much because at this point, we're in a consolidation. We want to see the price break the highs. We want to see some upward movement, making higher highs and higher lows before we really try to extend ourselves with the profits. But overall, on TRX, we see a nice anchor point right here. We see 2 touches of an initial rejection point where sellers are located, making lower highs. So that's good to see. And then right now, we're just in consolidation. We have a zone of confluence. We have previous levels of buyers at a certain zone many times. And then now we're going to potentially see a wave of sellers at this zone with confluence with the descending zone. So that's good for us. But then the thing is, in confluence zones, if we see a shift in price and a price actually breaks a zone of confluence and pulls back and validates it, that's a pretty good dependable zone that we have for buyers to potentially be entering the market. And so good opportunity for TRX if the price does break the confluence zone and pull back and validate that nice new zone for a level of support. That would be really good to see for TRX. We're still making lower lows, so we need to see a lower high structurally, and then we want to enter on the higher lows. So structurally speaking, we haven't broken the trend really, so we're not really going to be looking to enter, obviously, until we see some things happen in the market that give us more signal that the bears have kind of lost a little more confidence and the bulls are gaining it. So that's the TRX trade, nothing too much more to talk about. Link is another one that I'm definitely very interested in, because we broke the recent all-time high of the daily chart close, or a daily candle close. That's my first indication that gives me confidence that this could have a pretty bullish move here. And I'm just putting a projection and really refining our zones so we have a good area that we know that has a potential levels of sellers, and if we break it, we're able to find that potential shift in trend, and then we're able to catch that trend early on. So let's move on to the next pair. Basically, same thing with Link. We'll just quickly talk about market structure here. Let's go and snip it. So we got a double top here. This is the key level of resistance around $4.80 that the price is trying to get above. We see a squeezing of the price. We don't really have a major structural support right here. This is still a mid-range zone. We got 2 mid-range zones within our major consolidation. We got our major supply zone, which is going to be right here at around $4.80. We got our major support zone or demand zone at around $3.80, and then we got 2 mid-range zones. We got a current one right now which the price is in, which is around $1.14, and then we got the next one which is around $4.50. Sorry, the previous one was $4 and around 14 cents or 10 cents, and then the next level is around $4.50. So we got 2 mid-range zones. And what are mid-range zones? They're just zones of sensitivity that the price is going to repel or attract from. So it's a little bit harder to use them as levels of dependability. They're just areas where if we do get a zone of confluence, like we can see right now, where we got a descending zone, and if we're able to get a zone of sensitivity in confluence with our zone, that gives us more dependability within that pattern. But just a horizontal zone within itself, just a horizontal zone of a mid-range zone of sensitivity, that gives us a little bit less of a dependability within that zone, but because it's in confluence, it gives us a lot higher of a probability of being able to find an edge within the market. So basically, we're just squeezing. If we see another leg down, we're going to expect that there's going to be buyers within this area, but we're not wanting to enter until we see the price break either to the upside, or if it breaks our major structural zone of support, we're looking for a pullback at the completion of the exhaustion. We're looking probably to enter short. So that's the overall market. Not going to get too fancy, just a simple outlook on Link that we're going to potentially find. Ethereum is less ideal in my opinion. We see a consolidation, but we don't really see a descending zone really squeezing the price. That's what we're looking for. So we see higher lows, which is great. We see a horizontal zone where resistance is at around 286 to around 282. So we're getting a slow squeeze with the higher lows, but at this point in time, not really looking to enter on Ethereum just yet. So that's the 3 coins that we're really going to be looking at for this crypto market update for that section. And then we'll move on to the next here. We got Dash, Cardano, and Litecoin did break out. We talked about Litecoin being a potential opportunity and Atom as well, but BTC was in a little bit of a different place, and we didn't really see that much confirmation that there was a potential accumulation phase going on because we didn't really see no supplies really. We didn't really see the massive bearish or bullish candles with the long wicks to the downside. So we're not seeing as much indications, but now with the consolidation continuing, we're getting more indications of potential bulls in the market. So on Litecoin, we did draw this descending zone there. The price broke, retested once with a nice no supply. And then we started a little move to the upside, but we do see a nice resistance right there. So I'm a little hesitant on entering because obviously of the resistance right there. We do see a break, which is pretty good to see. If we do get to see the price maybe hold this zone, might be a potential feeler trade in, but I think I'd like to see the whole market give me a little bit more of a confirmation that there's buyers in the market, that there's going to be bulls entering the market before we really look to long or anything, because we do see that's a key zone of resistance, seeing decreasing volume coming into the market on Litecoin. I'm not loving what I'm seeing. I'm probably going to wait, or I'm definitely going to wait until we do see a little bit more of a confirmation from the market, maybe a couple more alts breaking out of the descending zone. So potential Litecoin could be a front runner because we've already broken the descending zone that most alts are holding under. So that is a potential play, but I'm going to hold off so far. Cardano is like many other alts that we've seen. Let's just zoom out a little bit. Just talking about market structure. So on this one, we do have a pretty key zone that we need to pass, which is this zone right here. We've rejected off this zone in the past. But we do have a nice little potential first level take profit if we're able to have a risk reward of maybe like 2 to 1-ish maybe. If that higher low does come in, maybe somewhere around here, we're going to put a stop loss at the zone. We're going to enter what's completion of the higher high and higher low formation is done. And then ideally we'd have a maybe first level of take profit at this level of resistance and support. And then we have another descending zone. Form a structural lower high with these zones, so we got another potential take profit somewhere around there. If we're able to break it, that's great, and we have different alts within the market to give us exposure if we're looking to take profit kind of a little bit earlier on some alts, because it's a zone of consolidation that we're still currently in. So that is Cardano, not a whole lot more to talk about. Dash is in a similar structure where we're holding a nice level of demand. Let's get a projection on here. So we kind of have a zone and not a single point on the chart that we're working with. So we're going to get a nice projection just covering the whole scope of the trade. And then we'll also just bring this out and then make it a little less visible. All right, so there we go. That looks a little bit cleaner for a chart. Same thing where we're looking for, a break, a pullback, validation of a new higher level or higher low. Once we see the higher high come in, and this is the zone that we're trying to break for the higher high, because that is the previous market structure of the highs. We could see a consolidation here. We don't want to enter at the highs just above the resistance of the consolidation. We want to see a nice clear higher high, and then we're wanting to enter on the higher low. So then we're wanting to enter at the start of the market structure change of the higher high, higher low situation. So that's Dash, not a whole lot more. Atom looked pretty good, so we broke this descending zone, also a front runner, but I want to see a little bit more of a confirmation. We do see increasing buy volume coming into the market, so we saw a squeeze after the break. We saw a strong bullish move to the upside after the not really a no supply, but we did see a strong move to the upside, and then we saw a lot of volatility around here, but we were holding the higher lows, which is good to see, and then we were still holding the higher highs up there as well. But if we see a pullback to maybe the $4.80 range, that could be a good opportunity. If we see maybe a wick down here, and then we see maybe a hammer candle or something, that would be a good opportunity for a feeler trade because it's a front runner. But at this point in time, I'm going to wait a little bit longer until we have a little bit more of a confirmation from the overall market that we're going to see bullish momentum coming into the market. So that is overall the market structure for a lot of the alts in that page. And then for the last one here, we don't have a whole lot more to talk about. We have MATIC and NEO, and that's about all that we are going to be doing. So same as many of the other alts, NEO is in a very similar position where we have a horizontal demand zone and a descending zone creating lower highs, getting a squeeze towards the apex of the price action pattern. Exact same thing. We're looking for an edge. We're looking for a higher high and a higher low structure, and we're looking to enter at the completion of the higher low, the completion of the completion of the exhaustion, completion of the pullback. Once we have validation that there's buyers in the area, then we're looking to enter before the higher high and the higher low formation comes together. So same thing for NEO, and MATIC is exactly the same thing as well. So we're looking for the best opportunities within the market with the structure that we currently have, and there's many opportunities. So we'll let everyone know within the crypto market updates. I think what we will do is, because this is a pretty good opportunity, we will start potentially getting these not free. Like right now, we're basically putting them on YouTube and just basically letting everyone view our trades, which is not a problem because it kind of creates exposure and gives people the opportunity to see how much value that we're able to give, and like we're not, we know our stuff, so that's kind of why we do it. But as time goes on, as we kind of build the brand and reputation, we will slowly wind down the free contents. In some way, we'll always keep it free for a lot of our stuff, but I think we are starting to kind of enter into the phase where we're only going to be providing these sort of long YouTube videos for our Performante Premium members. So that's the overall market structure for many of the alts that we're going to be looking at within the next week here. Next week is going to look very, very interesting. I'm not saying that we will 100% get a bullish move. A lot of these alts are great because if we are holding a horizontal zone, like for example, BNB is holding a very, very nice horizontal zone. If we get a push and a pullback validating the previous support as a new level of resistance, that is just as good of a valid, well-respected structure and a pattern as a bullish one. So we got overall many pairs that we have a good, well-respected structure that we can use to potentially enter some good, solid positions in the market. So just looking at the so I think the mic on TikTok might not be awesome. I don't know why. I'll check again. I thought, because every other one I've never heard someone mention anything. Yeah, I'll check it out. Maybe I haven't changed any of the overlays or anything, or how I set it up. So I'll try to help on that. I'll try to figure that out. But overall, thank you very much for watching. We appreciate the engagement and the community members partaking in interactions and helping out within the community if there's questions and whatnot. And we really appreciate everyone kind of, building the community, because we would not be able to do it without you. So until next time, happy trading, and I hope you have a great weekend, and definitely get ready for the Monday morning markets in after the weekend. So hope you have some rest if you are resting, and if you're hustling on the weekend, good job. I respect you immensely. So until next time, have a good one.